Welcome to the Connected Show. This is Ruben Torres, my boy Memo.
What up?
Special guest today, WestSide Love, Jordan Spark. Oh, not Stark. I don't know why I was saying Jordan Spark. I had that in my head already. I
think there was like a music contestant.
Yeah. She's a cute little singer or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no relation to Tony Stark, but still mastermind with the graphic design and just amazing designer. And thank you for coming.
When the East get wicked, make the call. I'm the guy. I'm connected. I'm connected.
So, dude, we've been talking about who we're gonna get on our first few guests, and I think it was kind of unanimous. We're like,
oh yeah,
oh, we need to get WestSide Love.
It was in the stars, dude. I mean,
up in here,
right down the street now. So.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. You just moved down the neighborhood.
Everything, our house, our office, our warehouse. Yeah. It's all down here, South Bay.
How do you like it?
Love it.
But you're originally a South Bay boy, right?
Yeah, from Bonita. And
is that considered South Bay?
Yeah. It's debatable. It's kind of
Bonita. Yeah,
I mean,
what
a lot. I mean,
yeah, right.
But Bonita Vista is Chula Vista. So I mean, just shared similar stomping grounds.
Yeah,
I would definitely say.
Yeah.
That's your neighborhood now.
Yeah, I stay around there right now.
Stay around there now.
Yeah.
So cool, man. You came and you blessed us with some of the mugs. I've been wanting to get some of the mugs going.
Oh yeah, dude. So
I originally reached out to Jordan. I was like, Jordan, dude, I wanted to get something for our walls over here because we got nothing.
They're kind of naked right now.
Yeah. So I was like, man, if we can get a little dub, I love the dub. So originally when we met, I met you in 2010. I believe it was through Milo.
Yeah.
And it was I think at the Spot.
Yep.
Back
old school.
We had a little art show there.
Yeah, we had the art show.
Seems like so much came out of that, right? That was like the Mecca.
Milo was doing his thing, dude.
Yeah.
That's shout out to Milo from Por Vida.
He's like the mayor of those barrio down there.
Oh yeah.
We got to get him on soon.
Oh, he's coming.
Sure.
But I met you down there, and I automatically just I think I was just asking question after question, just because the logo is just so dope. And everything behind it, I was like, dude, the concept, the design is so clean, everything about it. So I started asking you guys questions. I'm like, dude, what is and you guys started kind of breaking it down. But tell us a little bit about the history of the brand, because from my understanding, you were saying you did it was kind of like in school, right? Where you came up with the logo?
Well, yeah, it started out. So I went to school for graphic design. I went to art school in Pasadena. And identity and branding, actually, even before I went to art school, I was like really just interested in the power and how branding worked. Why, I brought up this example, like, we get a can of Coke, we don't inspect it, we don't smell it, we see it, we trust it, we understand it, we down it, we know it's a weird language, right? And it's a language. Like branding's a language. Color, type, symbols. It's a language. So I was always kind of fascinated by it, and I put a lot of emphasis. I dabbled a lot in art school, but I put a lot of emphasis in branding. And so in a class called Identity Systems, which is essentially when you do a branding, a visual identity. It's an identity system. So it's a system of typography, colors, logos, and how those logos are applied across visual identity, right? So it's identity systems. And the instructor, every class, he would give us an exercise. He would say, okay, here are a couple words, make a logo, make a mark, make a symbol out of these words. So he might say water and power. 1 week, and for 15 minutes you do little sketches of the words water and power. How does that form a logo or a symbol? And then 1 week he said, okay, the words this week are west, east, and the third thing of your choice. So I'm like, dude, I just did a really graphic looking dub. I flipped it sideways for east and E, and the third thing was music or hip hop. And that was it. We we vectorized it. We cleaned it up a little bit. It was still kind of a rough version of where it is now, but the next semester I was interning, and on my, off time, I was making art or making new design or whatever. And I really liked that logo. So I was refining it and revisiting the Illustrator file of it. And where the fingers crossed, there was a layer blocking out the other finger. And when I turned that layer off, I saw there was a heart in the fingers. And I had a moment for a second. I'm like, whoa,
Sick.
that's wild, you know? And the first thought is, a design legend is Milton Glaser. He did I Love New York. I'm like, this is like a West Coast version of I Love New York, but I said that humbly because I'm like, that this is I Love New York. That's one of the most famous logos in the world. But I'm like, I kind of, it shared, there's similarities and kind of like, but it's a West Coast version, and so
dope.
So I had a moment with them, like, I think I'm going to be seeing this logo for a long time. And that was in 2005. So, I kept over years, I was, refining the weights of it and just, I made some posters right after I kind of did that. There was an art show and I sold posters for like $20.
How did it do on that first run?
It did good. Some people were like, "Hey, I want the number 1 and number 2. Can I reserve those?"
I love that.
So some people saw value in it right away, and other people not so much. But I was like, "Hey, I'm going to sell these for $20. I see value in it, but I'm just put them out there for $20. First art show, whatever."
Was that the art show at the spot?
No, this was in LA.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
dope.
Yeah, I was still in art school. It was a group show with a bunch of friends, and I was like, whatever I don't sell, I'm going to pocket and just keep those in the vault. Yeah. And now we sell them on our website for $400. So
what?
Yeah.
That's so legit.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah. So those are like the original. We've made so much stuff with it since, but that's like the first thing we ever made, and they're pink on pink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. It was like in the '90s, it was it was beef, right? There was beef. It was aggression. It was kind of a sign of macho. But then here's this heart just kind of chilling in it.
That's so tight, though.
Yeah, and so I thought it was ironic, and that was the first design.
What does the logo mean to you? Like when you hear WestSide Love, like how do you define that? Like how do you express or explain that?
I think everyone has a kind of different interpretation of it based on, I think for a lot of people, their first interaction with it is, especially if they love music or they love hip hop, it's like, oh, that's how they connect with it right off top.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's something that is, it's a reminder that I love more, work on being a better person and doing better things and controlling your temper or whatever, so just like, anyone else, like I have bad days, I'm grouchy, my wife can attest to that. And it's, I'll recognize it and I try to snap out of it. And I'm like, dude, this is what we do. I can't be a curmudgeon.
Yeah,
like you're waking up every day to doing what you love.
And
so blessed.
Yeah, and I have to, and that's the thing too. Is like things are hard. Sometimes business is slow, and you get worried and stressed. But
what was that aha moment that you had where you were like, "This can be something"?
I thought, in that moment, I was like, hey, maybe when I'm 40, this can be sold in airport kiosks, something like you might see with I Love New York or something, right? But
is that still the goal? You want to be in an airport?
No, I think it would kill it.
Yeah, it would murder through all West Coast airport. Well, not with the East too, but
yeah, I think it would do well, but no, that would be cool. I think it would be cool, but I thought that it had potential early on, but still it didn't mean anything to people yet. Like, back MySpace days, like I had that as like my profile picture and people would be like, that's a cool avatar. And I'm like, that's all you see this as, you know. And then you make a shirt, and people are like, oh, that's a cool shirt. You sell a couple, but still, it's still like people don't see the vision you might see, so you have to plug away and build it.
What was your art teacher like? Hey, you're onto something, or
Not with
did he
that,
acknowledge you? Was he like, oh, that's kind of
no,
cool?
because the heart wasn't there in the class.
Oh,
it was just a
got
basic
you.
logo, a symbol. It was a symbol at that point, and the heart came just on my own time.
Who was the first person to like, dude, that is crazy, sick?
Dang, I think it was probably. I mean, the first person I think of was the homie Steven Serrato in art school, and he was a colleague and a friend, and he helped me screen print that first batch. We were there super late, just printing in the print shop.
How was the quality that came out on the first one?
It was good. It was good. I have a lot of like artist proofs that have little, paint here or whatever, ink in different spots. But overall, we got 50 clean ones.
Nice.
Yeah, we got 50 clean ones out of maybe 70, 80 prints.
You could mess up some.
Yeah.
First run then.
Yeah.
And is the long-term goal to like create stores or retail? Or are you trying to just keep it kind of the supply and demand, keep it like, nah, this is brick and mortar. You can only get it at our spot.
I think we'd like to have brick and mortar at some point. Because I think we want to get to a point where, for one, we sell a lot of hats. And we sell a lot of fitted hats. And I'm a fitted hat dude. I grew up like that was a special item whenever I could get a fitted hat. And so for people that are hat people, and especially fitted hat people,
They want to try them on.
They want to try them on. They want to try them on. That's a big thing. And, but, there's still a lot of fitted hat people that order online. And that's, we measure all our fitteds when we get them again to make sure it's the listed size, because sometimes there's a size off or something. So, we put those things, but I think having a physical store, definitely for those people, like it's a big deal,
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
You bend the bill? I don't know.
Obviously he's a bill bender.
I'm a slight bill bender. It's like a kind of natural. Like,
I think I would too.
yeah.
Do you remember back in the day, the bill would be like this, bro? I don't know if you remember. That was the cool way to do it.
What, super bent?
Yeah, like hella bent.
So that's back.
Is it back right
That's
now?
back. Big time.
It was even more than yours.
The
Eric.
youth, the youth, anti-sticker, like aggressively peel off the sticker.
Oh, no.
Super curved, like so curved that they steam it first.
No way.
Steam it and then put a permanent curve on it around like a water bottle, or there's even like
What?
little accessories that you can get to put on it. So you steam it.
I love that. Jordan's a hat expert here,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
legit. Oh, my.
Dude, low profile, like
you're
high
with it.
crown, mid crown, like what's your head size? Does your hat hit your ears? Like, let me show
tuck
you.
in the ears, Some dudes-
Yeah, like some people like that, some people don't, but some people are like, they're used to the standard, which is baseball style, 950, 5950, like mid crown hat. But some people don't, their head is shaped different.
Yeah.
But that's still all they know. So they feel uncomfortable when I'm like, yo, I think your head might fit better in like a 5-panel camper or like a dad hat. And they feel a certain way, like when they put it on, they're like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, this is kind of weird. I'm like, it looks good though. It looks good. And sometimes like those customers have like, nah, I'm going to stick with these. And then they come back like, actually, let me try that. Let me try that back again. Because it's just going to fit their head maybe a little bit better, more comfortable,
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's take it back before we get into the dude. Before this brand, what were you doing before this brand?
Now, where were you born? Shoot us where you were born. Where'd you grow up at?
So I was born in Upland, like, IE, Inland Empire. I was born out there. Was a young, super young baby, toddler. Was living in Ontario, and then Moreno Valley, and then probably when I was about in kindergarten, came to Bonita.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. and then went to Allen School, Bonita Vista Middle, Bonita Vista High.
Oh, you're Bonita head for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And when did you realize, like, through this Bonita process that when did you realize that, like, art was it, or have you always loved art?
Yeah. I mean, I always drew.
Were you good at it?
I don't.
Like, you know how there's that one kid who's like comes up with sketches and you're like, bro, how'd you do that? You know?
I don't. I wasn't that guy. I was somewhere in between, right? Like there were guys that I thought, oh, these guys are way better than me, but I admired them. Like I admired, oh, dude, third grade, this guy shades so good. Like I want to learn how to shade like that. You know,
Third grade.
Yeah,
I love that.
And then my brother, he was always drawing cartoons, and I'm like, oh, I want to draw cartoons, and so I'd like copy his.
Which cartoons do you remember drawing?
Well, he would just draw his own little characters.
Oh, okay.
And then I'd copy those, and then I would start like copying comic books. I love comic books, so I was, I'd find a page I liked and draw it, and that's kind of how I was cultivating like drawing, and then. But I was never that dude that was just like, boom, thinks it. I'm going to draw a person doing this. And then they're like, I'm going to draw a tiger. And they're boom, like they just do it. Like those, like I wasn't an illustrator like that.
Got it.
And I just would do it sometimes. And I never thought it was a career. Like, when I went to school, we didn't have graphic design classes. Yeah. We didn't have those type of things. But I was really into computers and the internet. So I was drawing it when the, computers came around and the internet, AOL was around. It's like every AOL like CD I got, I'm like, yo, let's use this. Like I want to jump on here. Yes. And from that, I started seeing like web designers and motion designers, like people putting graphics into motion. And I was like, whoa. And seeing like, oh yeah, dudes that, people that make commercials, like all the graphics, like people make that stuff. Oh, dang. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So it was around that time, like late high school that I was kind of artsy. I was always carrying a camera around. I was in like kind of making little videos.
Okay, so you were with it the whole time.
Yeah. Just kind of, I was a creative person, but I never thought it could be a career. Yeah. And I was like, maybe I'll be an architect or something, because that's that's artistic. But then I was like, I'm not super math. I don't like math, and I don't know. Like I don't know if I want to go down crazy math courses. And then I learned about graphic design, and I was like, okay, like branding and, language and symbols, and like I liked all that, I was drawn to it.
Some people just got the knack for that, man. Like to me, it's all like the whole other language is Greek. I'm like, so what is all this? Yeah. What is the symbol and some people just got it like that.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
I can't do all that, man, but.
If you're gifted, you're gifted, man. Yeah. That was obviously you're good.
You got that, man.
And just like, growing up, like driving down the freeway, seeing graffiti, and I'm like, that's cool. Like what's making someone so, why is someone so motivated to paint that? What's making, like, why they're just painting the letters on the side of a freeway? Like, what's that about? Like, because that's illegal, right? So like, what's motivating someone so much to do that? And I was just fascinated by it. So back in Tower Records days, I used to buy any graph mag that I could get. Like, dude, every CD drop or whatever, I'm like, go to the magazines first. And I'm like, oh, they got some new graph mags from Europe. I'm copying all those graph mags. Yeah, so I was kind of, I didn't have friends that were writers or anything. Like no one.
Well, you're in Bonita, bro.
Yeah, right,
what are you
exactly,
expecting, dude?
Exactly.
No, I mean, there are many of those.
Yeah.
Did you used to write too?
No, I would never say I was a writer. I would, in sketchbook and stuff like that, but I didn't go out bombing. I didn't have any friends or anybody that did that.
You never bombed under a bridge, hanging out.
Well, I mean. When I was getting into art school, I was making stencils and this is early Banksy before he was like big. It wasn't at Tower, but So funny story, Banksy, he was making waves in like the graphic design community.
Oh, was he?
In online. Like a lot of graphic designers were like putting Banksy on, right? And this is before like his high profile shows and stuff. And so I was like, oh, this guy's stuff's sick. You know, it's like bridging graphic design and it's bridging graffiti. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And it was all like clever, right? It was like no one was doing.
His style's crazy.
Yeah,
no
he's
one
always clever.
Yeah, no one was
Yeah.
doing stuff like
yeah.
that was quite. This is like early street art days, right? Street art. So, I ordered some of his little books. He made these little books like this big. And it was like all these pranks and stuff that he was doing and telling about his early story of coming up and why he even started stenciling. Like,
Wow.
he said that one of the stories was he was painting his name and in train yards, and then like security was alert. So he spent all night under a train, like oil leaking on him and stuff.
Wow.
And he was like, what am I doing? Like this takes too long to like write your name, like, you know, bubble letters or a burner or something like that. So he's like, I need to do something faster. So that's the kind of where he started stencils.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was it just the rat that he was doing?
He has so many good ones.
I think
dude.
like early on it was like monkeys, rats, and then he was still doing stuff in like he would like break into the zoo and like go into an exhibit and paint like in exhibits and stuff.
That's so
Dope.
Like
Did you
what-
see,
and ballsy, you know.
did you see the exit through the gift shop?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a funny story about exit through the gift shop actually.
Say it.
Shoot it.
But actually let me finish on the Banksy
Yeah,
thing.
okay, yeah.
So I emailed Banksy, like he had a website and he was starting a little store on his website. So I don't know if it went to that email went to, but I emailed them because I was starting to collect posters. I got some Shepherd Fairy prints and this and that. I was starting to buy stuff, and I saw that it said canvas is coming soon. So I emailed them, oh, when are the canvases? Like, when are you going to drop some canvases? And they're like, soon. And then I didn't follow up, but like early on, imagine
The
if I
value.
got like an early Banksy canvas paint.
I had seen I'm not sure what the name of the documentary was, but dude, he was out like New York and different, just out, and then they would set up a little thing. People would think that they're fake Banksies, and he would just go do a blowout, like
Crazy.
whatever, and he would just set up
That's
and
dope.
just do like, here, the original Banksies.
That's so
People don't
crazy.
even know. They're just walking by thinking, oh man,
Money.
that's cool. How much? Oh, $40. Oh,
Crazy.
$20, whatever.
I love that.
And they're just buying them like
That's
I forget what
crazy.
documentary it was, but it was
That's all
it was a
legit.
documentary showing that it was all Banksy stuff.
So exit through the gift shops.
Do I got it? You got it on there? Let's see. You got a crazy Banksy store?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, there it is right there. Boom. Yeah, $60.
No way.
It's all original Banksy stuff.
Yeah, I could have got one of those.
Sick.
Everyone just walking by.
Just walking by, didn't no idea.
That's crazy.
Well, anyone that would know would probably think they're all bootlegs. You know,
Yeah,
like,
for real.
oh, these
Yeah.
are bootleg Banksies.
Yeah.
60
$60.
bucks. Deals.
Spray art. You just call it
Deals,
spray art.
right?
Spray art, right? He just calls it spray art.
Dude, Casas, you came with that. Sick.
Hey, Katsa's quick with it, dude.
I was like, wait, what's happening?
like,
What's
I know. I heard that. I was like, what's Katsa's watching over there?
Yeah.
Sick. I knew you had something up his sleeve.
Yeah.
So exit through the gift shop. I was interning at studio number 1, which is Shepard's like design studio, and that was in 2005. And you know, different people would come through. I was working a lot with the art director there, Florencio Zavala, and a couple other dudes. But different people would come by, and I'd be like, "Who's that? Who's it? Well, what was that?" Well, this one guy, this French dude, would come in. He had like chops, and he always wore a fedora, and he always had a camera. And it was Brainwash. And I didn't know. I was like, but this guy came in several times, and I went to Flo, and I was like, "Hey, who is this dude?" And he was like, "Oh, he's making a documentary on Shepherd." And you know, when you watch the film, you're like, "Oh, well, no, he wasn't."
He wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, he was just he was just seeing, like, he was kind of seeing that. He was seeing like the operation and, you know, he has interns, he has people helping him make stuff. And he was taking all that in. But I wasn't upset. I know a lot of friends who were like upset by that movie, but I was like,
yeah. What do you think of Brainwash? Is he an artist or is he not an artist?
I mean, you have a tick like that. You're filming stuff like obsessively. There's some artist there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an artist there.
But when he got the orders from Banksy to go and do an art show, some people were like, he's not a real artist. Like, what is he doing? And he got all these other people to do the work and do all the stuff. And he was just kind of coming up with his own, like he wasn't really going out like painting stuff or he was taking stuff and then creating stuff from there. But it was still, some stuff was dope. And I think what he created, like when you walk in, was kind of an art piece of itself, you know, the Life is Beautiful show. But I don't know, I think people had definitely mixed feelings from Shepard for one. He had mixed feelings about it.
I think a lot of people have mixed feelings, and you know, I have mixed feelings. I'm not necessarily a fan of his work, but I think it says something about commercial art, and you know, like people like Shepard heavily praised or came up under Warhol, and a lot of Warhol's principles of like commercializing art, using, you know, industrial methods to produce art. So like screen printing and stuff like that wasn't something that was necessarily, it was in the fine art world to some degree, but you know, screen print, it used to be called a serigraph, or it is called a serigraph in like a fine art setting. They call a screen print a serigraph. And then even like a digital print has like another name. But or I might actually have those confused, but so the industrial methods of producing art, bringing in people to help produce art. So, you know, Warhol's not the one pulling the squeegee. Like he has someone, he makes the screen, or he has someone burn the screen, and he might not even pull the squeegee. Sells it, signs it, into Warhol. Shepard sells a lot of prints. He's not pulling the screens. He makes the design, sends it out.
But he creates the actual design.
In that case, yeah.
Where Brainwash was just kind of like, he'd take an Andy Warhol and he'd be like, okay, now I'm going to splash some paint on it, and then and then boom, it's mine.
Yeah, but he, in some cases, he is also art directing.
Yeah.
So art directing, that's a job. Like people in agencies and the ads we see on TV, like he saw the way art is made in an industrial and an agency setting. He saw me as an intern, or, you know, Shepard has a design studio and he has 3 other designers there. And a lot of the time those designers are making work that looks like Shepard Fairey's work. And it gets put out and people think it's Shepard Fairey, but it's not Shepard Fairey.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And so, you know, that was kind of a thing, is like some of the designers that are like, yeah, we have to Shepardify it. You know, we have to make it black, white, red, and kind of have this certain
propaganda.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of have a certain aesthetic, you know. So in some way, like they're doing the same thing. They're getting other designers, other talent to help them make their work. Yeah. And then they're whether necessarily they intended or not, it might that work gets assigned to them because they're the head of the studio. It happened, you know, on a much smaller scale, even with us at Product, et cetera. We have some designers and they would do stuff, you know, we would have critiques, and I might art direct. I might do some direction, like, hey, maybe try this, try that, do this. And then people will be like, oh, that's your logo. Oh, that was a sick logo you did. I'm like, well, I didn't, it wasn't me. I didn't do that. Like Randall did that, or, you know, so like it came out of the studio. So, you know, some people would just assign it to me.
What is Product, et cetera?
So that was like, well, it's still actually that was
your company before.
Yeah. It's still technically the company name. So Product, et cetera, is still like the parent company. But like it's the design studio. Yeah.
Which is you?
Which is me. I started it started in 2005 in my apartment. I'm like, oh, my portfolio, Product, et cetera. And the idea was is you have products. Oh, shit.
Oh.
What's going on?
I don't even know where you found this.
What's going on right here? Talk to us, Jordan.
Dude, this is some video. This is some Casa
where'd you
archives.
find it?
Yeah. So this is some Casa archives. Dang, this is probably like 12, 13 years ago. I don't know.
Dude, look at that.
And this is our design studio. So product, etc. Even all the brands, WestSide Love, 24/7. It was under product, etc. So
Love that.
yeah,
I love that logo right there too.
yeah, dude.
Casa's coming through.
Wizard.
Dude, we
He's
got
a
this. I'm
wizard.
telling
He's
you,
a
bro,
wizard.
this guy's.
Yeah, yeah. So
Always comes through with this.
so product, etc. You know, it's the idea that we have all these products, right? We have all these services and stuff like that, but the branding is what, you know, in a lot of cases gives these things life. And the branding isn't necessarily just visual. It's the way, and you know, customers, if they have a complaint, how you respond on the phone or how you respond to emails, how fast do you respond to the email? What's your policy if someone has a problem? How does your staff understand the company?
How important is customer service for Jordan?
Huge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Reason why, or what are some things that you have to stand by? Like, is it like, do you always respond a certain time? Do you reach out? Do you?
Yeah, we try. I mean, you know, it's as you grow, it's harder to have your pulse on every single correspondence. And now we have help. We have someone dedicated to customer service.
Oh, you do?
But I'm still often like responding on Instagram, direct messages, comments, and stuff like that myself. So I still have a pulse. But I think it's huge having that interaction with the customer and understanding the customer. And our policy is treat customers like you would expect to be treated.
Got it.
And how you would expect, like, pretend that's your family on the other side and they're reaching out and they have an issue, and give them that benefit of the doubt until maybe you're kind of getting like, hey, they're trying to take advantage of something or whatever.
Those are wise words right there.
It depends on the family.
Yeah,
too,
is it
you
your
know what I'm saying?
cousin that's annoying? Is it, who is this?
You'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that
Right,
guy.
yeah. And,
I'll call you back later.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. Sometimes people sometimes people come out firing. They're like, they think they need to for you to handle them, to do them right. And we're like, hey, we got you.
Cool.
We got you.
That's cool.
Like,
Tell me about that one, the logo, the product etc. logo with the dots. Boom, boom.
so, you know, like it started out with like, et cetera, like dot.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's these dots and then a circle around it. And it's all these pieces come together to form a brand. You know, all these pieces come together to
There it is on the hat. Right there.
and
It forms the E.
and it forms an E. You know, so it's like all these different parts are what form a brand, and that was that's. You know, I didn't tell that message in our website and to clients, and I was like, I'm falling short there. I need to tell that story, like what the name means, what the logo means, but it's that a brand isn't the logo, you know, and the example I always bring up is Enron. So if I say Enron, people are like, oh, screw that. That's a horrible company. But Paul Rand, one of the 20th century's most famous graphic designers in the world, he did their logo. He also did the IBM logo, and he did the UPS logo, and he did a lot of these famous logos. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how pretty the logo is. That logo stands for a company that robbed people ultimately. So, you know, that's branding 101. Like, the logo's a bad logo, you know, sure, it might have some disadvantages, but if the company is really good and the product's really good and people have a good experience with it, when they see it or they hear it, they're going to be like, I love that company.
Yeah.
And that bad logo stands for something good.
These are all your logos?
No, these are Paul Rand.
Oh, these are all Paul Rand. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's Enron right there.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
So next was Steve Jobs' company after he got first left Apple and then went back. So there's a good story with Steve Jobs and Paul Rand. So Steve Jobs reached out to Paul Rand, and he asked Paul Rand, he's like, hey, I need some logos for my new company next. And Paul Rand says, I'll give you one logo. If you want some logos, hire some designers.
No way.
Yeah, to Steve Jobs.
Wow.
So Paul Rand was that guy. But Paul Rand looked at it as like, I'm a doctor. You're a patient with a problem. I'm going to give you your prescription, and this is going to fix your problem.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's like
next
super,
level, yeah.
super
That's
confident.
other level right
Super
there. Yeah,
confident.
for sure.
I don't subscribe to that belief quite like that, because I think that the client and the designer relationship, you're both educating each other. You need to know as a designer everything about this company to do a good job. And likewise,
What do we got? What's the little,
the
got the little clickety click. Yeah, but I think most of the stuff that you've done, even like we're looking at the dollar sign, like I think all the stuff that you've done has been just home run. Like
Yeah, clean.
Thank you.
yeah, there isn't anything that I because I used to have that shirt too. I think
Okay.
I got it from
Did you?
Back in the day.
yeah, when I met him. But everything is a home run. But
Yeah.
even Memo, what would you say from the perspective of a graphic designer and you also put out shirts and hats and you do like just give me your perspective.
It's
on the
crazy,
branding
like
aspect.
when dudes have this like gift of like just to be so clean and proper, and it just expresses so much with so little. There's only like a couple guys that I look up to in that fashion. Obviously George SDCA, but WestSide Love has been. I wear more WestSide Love hats than my own brand. Honestly, man, that's just what it is. I love the logo. It represents so much, you know. I'm curious what influenced you to, like, what were your influences? Is it a music? Is it obviously the graffiti that's not in Bonita influenced you? But what else influenced you? Like,
I mean, the list is long.
or who? Or just what are the top 5?
Top 5, man.
Is hip hop in there?
Top
Obviously
3?
graffiti. Is it,
So like genres,
or yeah, whatever influenced you to,
graffiti, hip hop, fine art, graphic design. So was that 4? So, I mean, not just hip hop, but music in general. We're very eclectic. Like if I would, yeah, we listen to a lot of hip hop.
what'd you grow up bumping?
I grew up bumping. So it started out with like growing up, you know, it's like the families listen to oldies, and
Of course.
you know, and then classic rock, and then all like alternative rock, like, you know, Nirvana, Weezer, Pearl Jam, all that's the 90s stuff. And then with that also hip hop. So I think one of my entry points to really getting into hip hop was Wu-Tang.
Man, Wu-Tang was just,
I think that was it.
that was a lot of us.
They got the iconic logo too.
Oh yeah, that logo lives on forever.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, one of the first like big like rappers that reached out to us was Capadonna.
No way.
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah, just like he
What
saw
was that reach out? What was,
he just saw us on Instagram and was like, "Yo, this is cool. Like why don't I know about this? Why don't I have any of this?"
That's so
you're
legit.
like, yet. Give me your address. Give me your
You're
address.
getting everything right now, boy.
Give me
Exactly.
the address.
Who I see a lot of people wearing your stuff. I was, as a Padre fan, I see like Musgrove and all these dudes on that 247, 24/7. Which person has like blown your mind that you're like, dude, I can't believe this person? When was that? And who is that? And why?
Yeah, he's like athlete, musician.
Yeah. He's got a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Or the first one was Cap. Was that the first
Cap.
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Cap. That was. I mean, that was one of the first thing that blew my mind. Was kind of the first time it was. This was a long time ago too. It was a Too Short video.
Oh, sick.
A dude had a tat on his neck
What?
Oh.
with the WestSide Love logo.
No.
Dude. And
Sick.
you caught it like somebody said
No,
it to
someone
you?
said a random message. We just got it. Like, this is Tony. Like we're still working in the garage, I think, in Otay, right?
Okay.
And I get a message from someone I knew in school, And he didn't write anything. He just sent a link. And I was like, this is weird. What is this?
Too Short.
He must have saw something.
Okay.
And then I click it, and it's Too Short, Player for Life. That's the song.
Okay.
And One Oak.
Gus is a finder.
Yeah. So One Oak, he's a featuring artist on that track.
Okay.
WestSide Love logo on his neck. And I was like,
Neck.
what?
That's some commitment right there.
Yeah. On his
You
neck.
don't even have it on your neck,
Dude, I don't have any tattoos.
Oh man.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
There
your
you
first.
go.
That's your first tattoo.
Yeah, you have to get the website. I'm not gonna tell you have to get. I mean,
Neck on the
you, on the neck.
I'm like, to beat that, I have to get on my face.
yeah. Dude, like the right here.
You're right.
Yeah, that'd be so cool, bro.
First tattoo right here.
Hey,
Yeah.
so that Too Short video, that was
a
You're
like
like-
a mind blower because we were still way smaller even. I would say we're a small brand now, but we're way even
Well,
smaller.
what do you do in a situation like that? You're like, find out who the guy is, give
Yeah.
me his address,
Yeah.
and he gets stuff for life.
Yeah, that's
or
it.
something. You're like,
That's yeah.
We found
something. I don't know.
Yeah,
you take care of the guy, or what do you do?
at the time it was a while ago. Yeah, I think we reached out and I think he just saw it somewhere and he felt a certain way about it.
That's dope.
You know,
Yeah.
So
and I think that's the most powerful thing about that logo is just that it means something to people immediately. They don't need to know anything about us.
And that's the cool part. I think, all of us have obviously brands that we've worn that represented something in that era, you know?
Yeah.
So when you see somebody wear your brand, that feeling is like, wow. Because as a designer, I remember just thinking, I'm pretty sure you're the same way. Like, if I could just see somebody like wearing my stuff, and that's such a crazy.
It is.
I still.
I still have to like remind myself.
Yeah, man. Because
I had a
at
brand-
some point that was the goal, right?
That's special. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had
it's
a brand
special.
I did in 2004, 2005 called Jefe. And I remember the first time I was in Plaza Bonita, and the first time seeing somebody walking around that I don't know
Right.
That part.
wearing the shirt, and I was like, sick shirt, bro. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. He's like, I just got it over here at the whatever was that underground, San Diego, whatever
Yeah.
that was. I was like, sick, dude. And it's a crazy feeling, like somebody's rocking your brand that doesn't know you.
So in that situation, did you say, oh, "Hey, that's my shirt"?
No, I just left it alone. I was
Yeah, I
like,
always skip
sick.
that part. I'm like, hey, nice shirt, bro. Yeah, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool.
Taking it,
Because it feels weird
feels
to be
weird to
like,
be like, oh, yeah,
oh
that's my
yeah,
shirt.
that's my dude.
Yeah, yeah,
bro.
taking it to the level where it's someone.
Hey, what are we
tattoos
watching
it.
right here? Oh, this is a head.
This is the Heifer brand. Nice. Where'd you find that? Dude, he's bringing out the archives right there. Dude, Sonny was just hanging with this guy like 2 days ago. The same guy
Yeah?
rocking that shirt right there. Yeah.
Let's see.
But this is the Latin Nation thing. So
What was it?
This,
What was
this is the
happening
band
right
that
here?
I'm not allowed to talk about.
Hey.
Me and the singer of this band.
Hey, look at who is that young man?
So this is the brand that we were doing, the Heifer brand. And so it was on this TV show called Latin Nation, and they did a little thing on us. But
That's awesome.
so that was our
I
our
remember
logo.
that. I
That
remember
logo was
So
yeah.
I got that
remember that
logo.
logo.
I got the logo tattooed right here.
Okay.
My nephew got it tattooed.
Look
on his
at
hand.
that dude.
Look at that skinny dude with the dark
Who
hair.
is that guy? Dang.
With the dark hair.
That's nostalgic right there. That Jay
we
was
We had the rings. We had the whole thing right there. Boom, bada boom.
Heck
that's crazy.
Heck
So-
I
Throwback.
remember that.
Yeah, man, that was a while back. But like having someone, my nephew tattooed it on his hand, and I know you got people that did the blast too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you got it too.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was telling Memo this weekend there was someone like based their whole birthday party around blessed around
Yeah, we got some friends down south and they did a whole blessed birthday party. and
No
everything.
way.
And I was like, I haven't had a blessed birthday party, but shout out to our people down south.
but everybody was like wearing
everybody,
shirts.
the whole squad, bro.
kids,
It's so
the-
cool, you know,
everybody.
and it's just, it's cool, you know,
And
because
it was cool that it was in TJ and it was
yeah,
still like
yeah,
San Diego.
because TJ, they love all the English stuff too, you know, they that's like some pride. right?
TJ is underrepresented, and
big time.
And I think when we moved down here, we said if we look at it like we're at the edge of the United States, it's a downer. But if we look at it like we're in the center of a region, that's way more interesting. And
perspective.
and people are. I think it's there's actually this year, there's San Diego got nominated for the World Design Capital.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they're working.
Georgie was telling me that.
Yeah, it's a combined bid with San Diego and Tijuana. So there's events cross, binational events, and I think that's the way things need to move.
Yeah. Have you done anything with the Mexican connection type, or
I mean, like in Mexico,
or just like I don't know how you would design. I guess have you designed anything for like Mexico or anything?
Yeah, we did the El Tree hat. So it's like the Mexico colors.
Okay.
Yeah, and we call it El Tree.
Is there a brand or like a team or something that you would love to collab with that you haven't collabed with yet?
Padres. Where you at, Padres?
Come on, Padres.
Okay. Speaking of Padres,
dude,
come on.
So back then, whatever was 2010, whenever we met, you were pushing the
bring back the
brown. So I don't know.
You're a big part of that.
He was the
You were the
was
guy?
his idea. He was the guy.
Tony and I started that in the garage.
Bro, that was
He was the
everywhere.
Tony and I started that.
The reason they wear the brown now is because this
You
man right here.
sparked that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. First
He's
of all,
he's being humble about
hey,
it. But
thank you, boy.
yeah, he's being humble about it. But he's the man, dude.
we so
How did that work out? Like you
Bring
just
back the brown.
So I wrote a long blog post once they changed about what happened, like the steps, and it started out. Tony and I were going to make. Oh yeah,
There it
so
is
right there. Normally, there's a.
Was this the campaign?
There was a petition in that blank space,
Uh-huh.
and it looks like the plugin doesn't work anymore. But these were like the first. We called this like what this. It was like. Well, actually, no, because it wasn't. We have more sponsors now than it was. But basically, we were going to make brown and orange, like in these colors, like an 80s style WestSide Love hat.
Yes.
And this was like, we were going to do a Dodgers colorway, a Padres, like so LA and SD.
So you did this color instead of the gold.
To start. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So Twitter was a heavy like tool that we used, and Twitter was kind of like the glue, right? Twitter was the glue. So when we started the campaign, it was basically we're going to make a brown and orange WestSide Love hat, but Tony and I were young, ambitious, and we were like starting to plant a flag, like we're in SD. Like I moved back down from LA to SD, kind of with the chip on my shoulder because people said, don't go back to San Diego. It's sleepy town, it's breakfast town, whatever.
Boom, look at that.
So,
That's sick.
so we,
so clean.
we kind of like, we're ambitious. We have ideas. We want to execute. A little bit of arrogance, a lot naive, and so we were going to make this hat brown and we're like, well, why are we going to make a brown and orange or brown and gold, whatever, WestSide Love hat when the team is blue and white? Why are we going to do that?
What year was this?
This was 2009, 2010.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was really 2010. We're talking about this a lot now because we're going to make this hat. And we're going to I think we released it in spring of 2011. So we were talking about, we're like, why are we going to make a brown and orange hat when the team is blue and white? And we're like, well, the no-brainer answer is you make a blue and white WestSide Love hat, people aren't going to associate that with San Diego. Like, there's too many teams and references that have blue and white, but no one has brown and orange. No one has brown and gold.
Yeah.
So again, talking about branding, identity, these things. And we were also talking about at the time, it's different right now. It's been different for the last 3-4 years. But at the time, it's like we'd go to a game and there'd be more fans for other teams than our team. Yeah. Constantly, not just the Dodgers, but
years.
For years. It would be like a Cardinals game. There'd be a ton of Cardinals fans or like the Cubs fans or whatever. And we're like, this is a problem, bro. Like, people just are not engaged here. Like, they're just not engaged with the team. And the Chargers left, that was a little later, but we're like, there's a problem here with the identity of this team. And like the Friars now dressed in blue, There's wave, like
Oh, I
wave.
was not a fan of that.
There was wave logos on their sleeve patches.
The sand.
The font, the sand. The font is based on sailboats. We're like, this is an outsider's perspective of the San Diego
Preach.
Padres.
Yeah.
This is our team is not called the Sailboats or the Bay Riders or the Shamus or these are the Padres, and we're so distant. And like, why? Around the time that I kind of got disconnected with the Padres was 91 when they changed their uniforms. They had a fire sale, and I think a lot of people there was just this endless disruption since like 91 with the franchise. A lot of outsiders coming like in and out of ownership and players and whatever. But at the same time you have 98, you have some people that grew up with blue and orange and have still a really strong affinity with those colors. So we learned a little bit about that too, but we were just like, why are we going to just make this hat when there's these bigger things at bay here? There's a problem here, and we should address this elephant in the room, maybe, Then we were like, what if we started a petition to bring back the brown? Like, would anybody sign it? What
Just for fun?
Yeah, we were just like, hey, like, what if we did that? Would people sign it? I don't know. It's like, and
That's so dope.
and so we're like, more and more we talk about, we're like, and then we I'd go out to like PB to get breakfast, or go down to IB to surf or whatever, and now I'm seeing like locals. I'm like looking for like who's wearing brown, who's wearing blue, and I'm like, when I would see like, oh, this is a local head. This guy's lived here his whole life and he's wearing a brown hat. Okay, other people probably feel the same way. We should like maybe like let's start. Maybe we should make a campaign. Like, and so I was like, okay, well, what does this look like? And Tony and I are rapping about this. Tony and I are rapping about like, okay,
Dude, rocking it right there.
yeah,
Look at that.
if we're going to start a campaign, this is going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time for a team to change their colors like this. We can't do it ourselves. We can't do this ourselves. So, like actually like taking some stuff from the Arab Spring. You guys remember those years where like there's tons of revolution in the Middle East, and Twitter was this like tool that was like used to help organize all these people to do like stage a protest or whatever. So, I kind of saw some of how that went down, and just in history, like there's different aspects of people that you need to get together to get big things done, right? So the first thing I did was I tried to find the hardest core Padre fans I can find. And this is like way more hardcore than Tony or myself or anyone I know in my family, or these are people that go to spring training. These are people that watch the minor league system.
The hardcores.
Hardcore. Win or lose, especially as a Padre fan, that puts you at a special caliber.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
we've
man.
sucked for so long, right?
Yeah.
So these are those dudes.
How do you go about finding those guys?
Twitter.
Is that right?
Twitter, bloggers, find like who's blogging about the team on the regular during these really crappy seasons.
That's how you could tell who's
The
who.
mighty 690 listeners.
Right. So we reached out to like a handful, maybe like 10 people. 9 of them were like, yes, please do this. This is amazing. Yes, we need the brown. On board. We're like, this has legs. These guys, all these guys want this.
Yeah.
This has legs. Let's empower these guys. Let's try to empower these people. So we had the hardcore bloggers, and we're like, now we got to get the merchant class. We got to get people that have legitimacy, that own businesses. Like, so we need the merchant. So we got the hardcores, the ultras, Now we need the merchants. And so we reached out to like Lolita's, Barbasic, bunch of breweries. Like, hey, what do you guys think about this? Knock Around, who was a client, they make sunglasses. What do you guys think about, this idea, bring back the brown, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, that's awesome. Yeah, I love the brown. Like, they should do that. They should go back to that. So we're like, boom, now we got businesses. These guys are willing to throw events at their place, willing to donate posters, whatever. So we may bring back the brown. 2,000 Bring Back the Brown posters donated.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember
Boom.
I had one of those.
Yeah. So it was like,
And you had shirts too, right?
we made shirts. We
Glasses.
did collabs with some of the people that signed on. So we collaborated. Now we're like, we need to show people that this isn't like a 1970s brown version, that you can take these colors and make something that looks good and modern with these colors. And that is us, you know, it's not like, what do we think people from LA think? What do we think people from St. Louis think about
It's
brown and gold?
internal.
Like, who cares what they think?
Yeah.
Like, we like it.
Yeah.
And it means something to us. And if it's quirky, who cares? That's us. That's who we are. Like, let's embrace it. You know, that's identity. So
it was dope though. Like the way it all like kind of came together. You could see kind of like at the time, because I remember like getting the posters and I was seeing them everywhere. And then even like, you know, social media was kind of like barely, but I mean, it was kind of everywhere, you know what I'm saying, in your face. And then you would see people rocking the shirts, and you would see, and I was like, man, I remember you guys telling me about it when I had met you guys. But dude, I think it's something that, I don't know. To me, I think it set that precedence of like, oh man, this is the road that it's going down. Would you say that it was one of the reasons or the reason that they changed to the brown?
I would say that we planted a seed. We helped plant a seed, and then we got it going, made it look like made people believe.
Yeah.
Because the math is this, is that if enough people, end of the day, the Padres are a business.
Yep.
And so as a business, if they see there's money and their fans, their customers want this, they will change. Yeah. It's a basic math.
Yeah.
And some people would, like naysayers would challenge me on that. I'm like, bro, you don't get it. Like if a business exists to serve their customers and make money, if they see that this is wanted more, they will do it. 100%. I guarantee it. Yeah. Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. Like, how do you think you can change this team's colors? Like, this is insane. You can't do this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're just showing people like that if they want it, this team will do it. Yeah. If enough people want it, this team will do it. And it took 10 years for them to see finally, because at first different executives would label the people, oh, it's just a vocal minority on Twitter. It's just a vocal minority. They coined it. It's a vocal minority.
How much did that upset you? You're like, these guys.
Everyone on Twitter would blow up like, and they're not listening. They're not listening. And then, but it started with some of those partners that started off just like, hey, collab with Knockaround. Well, Knockaround kept getting bigger as a business, bigger as a business. And the merchant class, right? So they got bigger, and then they became an official partner with the Padres. Oh, wow. So now we have like a mole inside, and then Knockaround is still committed to this idea because they believe in it, and so they would request retro days for giveaways. Anytime the Padres have a retro day, first thing they'd say, we want to do a giveaway on a retro day. We want to give away brown glasses, and then they got basically several years in a row, and then. Yeah, and so now they're giving away 50,000 pairs of sunglasses that are brown.
That's crazy.
So it's like people are like, "Yeah, this is cool. Oh, yeah, these are dope, right?" But
it was part of the campaign.
Well, we did a collab.
Low key.
We did, low key. Yeah, like we did some collabs with them, official Bring Back the Brown knockarounds, and we did 100 or something like that. And then the first brown day that they got, we were actually on retainer with Knockaround at the time. So we were designing the glasses they gave away for the giveaway day.
Look at that. Yeah. Full circle right there.
Yeah. So it's like sneaky. So it's like, we were working with the Padres.
Boom.
Yeah, that was the first.
There it is.
That was the second pair, I think. Sick. That was the Bring Back the Brown 2s, I think.
Do you still have some of those?
I have one.
That's dope. Yeah, there it is.
One in the vault.
Bring Back the Brown ST. So dope.
So legit.
Yeah. Did anyone from the Padres reach out to you?
No.
Still?
No one.
What?
Nothing.
Not even like, hey man, that's a good idea.
So, well, okay, I will say that when the new ownership came in around 2015, 2014, that CMO he was, at least from my experience, more approachable. So I have a picture with Wayne Partello. We handed him 2,000 signatures and comments from people on the website. And it's not just signatures. Like, I would read that petition occasionally and check out the comments. People left.
How many signatures?
2,000. Like, nice. I think we ended out at like, initially we're like, we're going to get 10,000 signatures. And I'm like, no. But we got, I think, probably around 2,500 signatures by the end of the campaign. And occasionally I would read those and like people would say, my dad cried when they changed the colors. Like people would leave comments like that. Like, this means a lot to people. Yeah. And that would be like, that would remind me.
That's big words, bro.
That would remind me like, hey, we're doing something that
matters.
That matters for our community.
What is your favorite Padres jersey of all time?
So I really like I think it was the first like MLB uniform was like the 69, 70. 69, I think it was the 69 to 71. It's like it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. Like the script could use some work, but that was kind of a model where I think if they're going to make they were to make a modern jersey, they start there and modernize it. And they kind of did, but they added pinstripes and it's not a script. They went.
Is that when they wore the funky hats, the little top heavy?
No. Well, yeah. So I think around that time they still had the bell hat.
Yeah.
So it's, it's like has a little bell right here. Yeah, so I think that's when they introduced. Actually, no, I think the very first ones were just brown. It had an SD, and then I think around did the same top, and then they introduced. That was the first one. Yeah.
Oh, the short SD. Yeah.
Yeah, the short SD, the squatty one.
Yeah, the San Diego letters need some help right there.
Right. Yeah. So that was I think that was their ways, and then their homes had like a funky script, and it was just white. It's similar ratios that they have today as far as color. Like,
man, the Padres got to work with you, bro. You make so much noise. How'd you get involved? I saw that you shared. You collaborated with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
How'd that start, or how'd that?
Yeah, that's been our first official like league collaboration, and that was cool. I mean, like we just got an email one day. And it was from a guy, Ryan, and he's like, hey, I really like your guys' brand. I've been following it for a little bit. I'm the creative director for the Kings. Would you guys want to collab with us? And I was like, wait, no. And I'm like checking the email, and I'm like, oh, damn, this is for real. Yeah, we want to collab. Let's go. And dude, it's been such a cool, like, he's a designer. It's just been like they've been a great team to collaborate with.
And I went to Sacramento last year, and I hit up Jordan. I say, I'm gonna go buy one of your hats up here. And when I went into the store, the lady, those sold out fast. And I was like, man,
less than a month.
Yeah. So they took off,
Yeah. We got part two. We got part two. Thing? We got a part two.
Sick.
Is it?
Yeah. We got a part two lined up for fall.
That's it right there?
Yeah. That's it.
Clean, bro. Yeah.
That is dope.
Yeah. So what, you guys sold them, and they sold them at the stadium?
That was an in-store exclusive.
Okay.
So you had to be at the stadium.
Okay.
These next ones are going to be online. These next ones will be online.
That's so cool.
So have you made more connections with the Padres to kind of get in?
Nope, not yet. That's what we're like, come on, SD. But we are doing something with San Diego Football Club.
Nice.
I happen to know a guy over at the Padres.
Yeah?
I might be able to. I don't know. I don't know how what the approach would be, but I know a guy.
I'm being patient. I think it's something that the Padres will eventually get hip to. But you look at...
but that helps, using the Sacramento...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're dealing with like some real folk,
Yeah, I think if you look at the NBA has been a great model as far as engaging with artists, and that mean something to the city, you know. So like, you know, like the Nets have been a really good example. Like they had jerseys that were modeled at Basquiat. So they had like Basquiat style jerseys, which is like, dude, that's so sick. And then I think this year they have Kaz. I don't know if you guys know Kaz, but he's a really well-known graffiti. He came from graffiti roots, and now he's like a fine artist.
Or like the Clippers were using Mr. Cartoons.
Yeah.
So that's like
and then
connected to the
Clippers or
street.
Lakers?
yeah.
Clippers.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And then Cartoon's been doing stuff with the Dodgers now.
Yeah.
So I think
Dodgers.
teams are starting to get a little bit more hip that not only, again, it comes down to dollars, right? It's that, and like it's cultural, you know, this connects them, the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's script.
You can't go wrong.
Come on.
Yeah.
That is dope. And you know that's cartoon right away.
Right. You can't go wrong. And it's a pride thing, you know, and I think you know, I think MLB has some catching up to. I think the Dodgers, and there's teams doing it. The White Sox have been, I think, pretty solid. The City Connect initiative it's a step forward, but
Pause that right there. How did you feel as a designer when the City Connect jerseys came out? Or where do you have those at? Rate them 1 to 10, and why?
with the Padres one,
Yeah.
The pastels.
Be honest.
it's I think it's nuanced.
The pastels.
So like when they first drop, I was like, nah, bro, nah. But I think the internal marketing team brought it home. They told a good story in their release. And then we were stoked because Joe's wearing a 24/7 hat in the release video.
Yeah. See. Oh, yeah.
So I was like, yo, come on, dude, that's cool. But I thought they told a good story when they actually formally dropped it, because it leaked first, right? And people were like, "Yeah, this is kind of whack. This is
Miami.
This is Miami. This is board and brew."
Tropical.
It is.
Yeah.
Very pastel.
Yeah, this is. People are like, "It's Miami," and
It is.
or it's
very Miami.
board and brew. You know, the sandwich shop. Yeah, and so, I mean, I said my take was this: is I was like, this feels like Nike. Nike sent a designer
Yes.
to San Diego for like a weekend, and the designer got an Airbnb in PB, and the designer went from PB to Carlsbad and back, and then went back to Oregon,
Yeah.
and then
Boom. For the city.
and then did that.
Yes.
That's how I felt.
me too. I was like, and I was kind of disappointed that they didn't. Those colors were not it for me. I was disappointed because we have so many good artists here. Like not our version would be like a Dice One, or they should have reached out to like maybe like a Tribal.
Yeah.
Somebody who's like in touch with
sure.
the San Diego culture, you know, and
sure.
represents us properly.
look,
At least collaborated with these dudes or took their input, you know.
At
Tribal would've
least
been
Just out of respect, like, all right.
Out of
and then-
respect.
yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you got cartoon up there, we got dice down here. Do a little
Yeah.
boom.
Right.
There it is.
Nothing. I agree with you though. It just seemed to be put together by maybe.
I think, and that's why I felt the South Bay has always been left out. And if you look at our Bring Back the Brown logo, it's the character's called Kilroy was here. And it's like one of the earliest graffiti. It's from World War II. It's a little bald guy. Like
Kilroy?
Kilroy is the guy's name. And we made the Friar Kilroy looking over a wall. And that wall is meant to represent the wall right here.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
See, now I like that logo more.
Yeah.
See,
It's
Nice,
and
it
it
makes sense.
And it's the Mexican roots, it's the Spanish roots in San Diego of the Padres, and it was that the team has been washed away of that route with sailboats and waves
sand.
and
There it is
sand,
right there.
Yeah,
and that's what
There's the Kilroy. There's the wall.
Yeah,
I love the halo. I didn't even catch that right there.
Yeah, so that was kind of like
Get dirty.
get dirty, you know. It's like that's what you say when someone's sliding or playing hard, you know. So it's like how do you look at, you know, when we first started, like we got so much pushback from people, and they're like, brown's so ugly. Brown is the color of poop, and yellow is the color of pee. And I'm like, bro,
these are facts.
How old are you?
Yeah, they're right, but they're wrong.
I'm like, my hair's brown, eyes are brown, people's skin's brown. Like, show some
Dude, that's so
respect.
beautiful. I love all
That's
that.
dope right there. Oh, there's the Get Dirty. Boom.
No, that's
So
And you had
beautiful.
the bags. I didn't see those. That was dope. Is that
those little boxes.
boxes?
Yeah.
Sick.
Which was your favorite WestSide Love hat, Jordan?
Yeah, I can't pick.
That's so dope.
What's the one? You gotta go. Okay, you. One day you're gonna pass away. You're gonna tell your wifey, "Hey, I need you to put this hat on me." Which one's it gonna be? There you are in the casket wearing what hat?
I gotta take it there.
I don't know how to tell them to choose one.
I don't know. Look at all these.
There's so many beautiful ones.
This is why I don't have
What
tattoos.
do you call the crown? The crown one? What do you call that?
That's a King of Hearts.
King of Hearts.
I like that one, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why I don't have. Someone asked me that. Why don't you have any tattoos, bro? And I was like, bro, if I had tattoos, my whole body would be covered.
That one's
I have.
right there,
There's
too.
so much
I like
art.
that one too.
There's so much art
What do you
that.
call that one? The chronic. What is that?
Oh, so yeah, the first one or one of the first Dubs one was like kind of like the zigzag man, like that one. Yeah. Dubs Chronic right there on the left side.
Yeah. Sick.
That was kind of a Dre, like a chronic flip, and then also the zigzag guy. Dude, one hat. I don't know. I mean, the OG.
You gotta go.
I'll just go OG, just the black, white, and red. The classic.
That's what started, right?
Yeah.
That's what got it going.
Yeah, I mean, one of the probably the first was I was
So clean, bro.
Yeah, I was telling someone today, actually the first WestSide Love colors when we started as it a brand were red, white, and blue. And one, it was to be different than I Love New York and kind of like make our own. And it was like, one was an aspect of American, and another thing was like, to some degree, bridging that if this was to some degree associated with gangs, it's that it's blue and red.
Yeah.
Is one thing.
It's both.
It's both. And then also LA roots with that, So, but I was telling someone like that was when we first started. But when I rebooted it, I'm like, it's got to be black, white, and red. And I was like, main thing is that black sells all day.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
All day. And the most of my wardrobe is black anyway, too. So I was like, and everyone loves a black hat. So I'm like, our standard colors have to be black, white, and red. And that's why we went that.
So you just said when you rebooted. So
Yeah,
did
there's a
you
pause.
shut down and then maybe not shut down, but you paused it.
Yeah.
Well, when did that happen? And what's the new?
Yeah, it was when Tony decided he had to leave the business. And I was like, we were in some rough times because our main bread and butter was design work at that time. And so I was like, I can't do both. I was always like juggling, spinning plates, right? It's like, okay, got this going, and now I have to go and spin this one over here, keep this going. And I was never focused, right? And so I'm like, I need to focus right now and just get the design studio and the client work going. So I'm like, I'm shutting everything down except like that right now. I need to focus on that. So I just focused on like, okay, I have to do soup to nuts. I have to have the client meeting. I have to work at the proposal. I have to talk about business. I have to talk about numbers. I have to talk about like what the problems are. So I needed to focus on that. And I did. I did that for about 3 years, just like that. And then in 2017, I rebooted the brand in our apartment. And so, so we rebooted in 2017, and it was just in our second bedroom. But like our apartment at the time, and this was
just the whole timeline, or
a little bit, yeah. So, my wife Tori, also a designer, super dude, mega talented. her roots. She went to Rhode Island School of Design as an illustrator, and then
So she's the east side part of it.
for real, straight
so
up.
cool.
And we're gonna tell that story. I took some footage when we were out there visiting her family of like her in front of her house growing up out in rural Pennsylvania, and I want to tell that story like. Also, like that's part of our DNA. Like East and West is part of our DNA.
United.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
That's so cool.
And just even on top of that, like we're laughing because we're talking about it earlier, but there's always an east side, there's always a west side.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Every city.
No matter
right?
where you go,
Yeah.
there's going to be
For
that.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
So
For sure.
but bringing that in, it's like it's part of the DNA of the company now. It's like,
It is.
Yeah.
you got this, you got that. And
Yep.
she kind of brings it all together.
Yep.
I was talking to some boys today from Vegas, and we were talking about West Coast, and they said, Vegas is part of the West Coast. Do you consider Vegas part of the
Yeah,
West
you
Coast?
had it on your roll call of cities.
So we get a lot of comments about
Explain
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
explain
triggers
that.
people.
Yeah, because I before I even said, I'm like, because they saw your sticker. I have your sticker on a hard hat. I mean, on a toolbox, and they're like, "Oh, it's tight, West Coast." I'm all, "Yeah, were you guys from Vegas?" I was all, "Are you guys West Coast?" Yeah, we're West Coast. And then he got offended. You went like in a minute, just telling me why this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, but what do you? Let's look up the definition of coast, bro. And then you're like, wait,
You're like, let's take that second word,
wait.
find the definition.
Yeah, I'm like, wait,
And what does this
what
mean?
coast, bro? What's the beach like in Vegas? What?
So tell me about the beach in Arizona.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
But I guess it is, for them. So, yeah. They get
traditionally it's
offended, though.
It's like the
Offended, bro.
Southwest.
Dude, this
Right?
so we had an ad with that roll call tee, and we occasionally put it up, and people have
Were they
opinions.
tripping on that?
Dude, any roll call tee we put out, people have opinions.
Of course.
Opinions and very strong opinions. No other ad that we put out gets as much hate ever. Like, and I have to like brace myself before we do. I'm like, okay,
You already know?
yeah, I know it's going to get a lot of comments.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, okay, don't take it personally. Just like be calm, understand where they're coming from.
Are they like, what about my city?
Yeah, and then we get that. Where's Modesto? Where's Fresno? Where's whatever? Like, dude, it's a T-shirt. I can only put 10 things unless we're gonna do one that
With
has
tiny
like 50.
every
So the first roll call tee, all it is, and I'm just like, these are receipts, bro. Have your opinion, whatever it is. These are receipts. So these are top 10 cities that have supported us for 2 years. So from 2020 to 2020, I think it was 2022, like maybe mid-year. I'm like, these are the cities that had the most receipts. So
That's it. Showing love back.
yeah,
What if
showing
it was
them
like Kansas City? You would still put that on?
It wasn't, so we just did it. But at this point, I would like I straight up would, and I learned things about other cities because of this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, what's going on in Houston or whatever? Like, why are we getting so many orders in Houston? Like what's there's a huge West Side in Houston.
Yeah, I love that.
So we are learning about other people and places and cities as a result of this brand. So I look at that as that's special. That's amazing. There's bridges being built, and that's ultimately like, I think if I'm looking at an ideal picture of what we do, we are celebrating people and places and building bridges between people. That's the way, that's the idealized version I look at it. Maybe that's overstating it, but that's kind of the way I look at it.
When's the north side and south side?
Yeah, how's that gonna bridge it? You're like, hey, a North Sider and a South Sider,
So
does that one come?
we're doing a
East Side, West Side.
4 hat release
When is this happening?
next month, or it may be, probably early next month.
And what are
Already
those?
designed. It's already
It's done. It's
sick.
in production. It's been that new era.
What are they?
So we call it the Broken Bones series. And I did a W, an S, an E, and an N out of bones.
Right on.
And then in each letter, there's a broken bone. And then on the side patch, it has like a crossbones.
Uh-huh.
And then it has the N, the South, the West, and the East on the side patch.
Right on.
So it's it's cardinal direction. You know, it's like a compass. So
Yeah.
call it cardinal direction, but it's quite literally an X, and it's
Uniting.
united.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to those.
I'm really pumped on these.
That's sick.
I'm excited to release. I think they're going to do well, and I'm excited to wear them. I actually want the S the most.
Reason?
I like the S. I mean, my last name starts with an S, but also we just moved to the south side of San Diego. So,
Love it.
so
Memo was saying you're going to start a gang war. I mean, is that what's
Oh, I was just saying, if you're
Is that what's
you're
happening?
supplying to all sides of the game.
well, that's it. But here's
know?
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and you know, I have a lot of thoughts on this. I've thought about it a lot, but and it's cool when I've heard other customers say this, is that we have that WestSide Love logo in LA colors. We have it in Bay Area colors.
Yeah,
We have it in San Diego colors. So you go to a game, let's say, and you see, you know, there's a lot of fights at Dodger Padre games and stuff like that. But you see a dude wearing, you know, a WestSide Love hat in LA colors, and you know the brand, and you're wearing the Padre ones. You're going to be like, yo, that's dope. Nice hat.
It's true.
You know, like you're not going to fight that guy.
Nah.
That's the last person you're going to fight in that stadium.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
yeah. So I mean, you know, you're not.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's like it's sharing respect, and we recently like try to identify, okay, what do we do? Like, what's our kind of call to action? What's the value that we provide other people, right? And I think it's important for everyone. I spit some game to a young dude that's starting a brand. And I said, you know, constantly we're asking ourselves, what value are we providing? Like, this isn't about us. Like, you know, and I recently heard a podcast that reminded me of that. Like, what we do is not about us. It's about other people.
Yeah.
And I think the more that we understand and ask ourselves, what value do we provide, the better a business it's going to be, for one. And whether you own a business or you work somewhere or whatever, if you're asking yourself, what value am I providing? You're putting yourself on a track to serve other people. And, I mean, end of the day, like, what else is there, right? Like, everyone's working to help each other. The guy who bags your groceries is helping you. You know, the person that rings you up is helping you. So I think we all, at the end of the day, I think Einstein had a great quote about, you know, every day he wakes up and he thinks about everyone that's out there doing stuff every day that is helping him do what he does, you know? And so he tries to put as much effort as he can into what he does with everyone else in mind, that everyone else as a community, as a civilization, if we look at that, things are a lot less bleak and depressing, right? You know, if you're digging a ditch and fixing a pothole, like if you're looking at like, yo, I'm helping people put food on the table and whatever, that's a different way to look at things. You know?
Yeah. Community based.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
And you're putting yourself as in value. So you're thinking about, how am I helping someone do something, right? And I think the best businesses that do that, they're making a lot of money because they're in a position where they're providing value to people.
That's one thing I admired about what you were doing, because I seen early on you were doing some stuff with the kids that needed the hair, the long hair.
Oh yeah,
so you hooked up with the long hair.
Our homies, the long hairs,
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, there are examples of people that have always been about it, and they're using business to help, not just like help themselves live, but help other people. Like they're doing something else as a business, and they've always donated to children with hair loss.
Yeah.
So
And you did
so beautiful.
the event that was like
So we
2000?
we helped sponsor it. So you know, they had a lot of sponsors, and there was about 1,500 people there, and their whole thing is they're a business that helps men. They're a fraternity for men with long hair. That's kind of what they say, and they provide products and stuff. And tutorials, like, because men don't grow up like knowing how to take care of their hair.
Yeah.
So they have a zillion pieces of content on how to wash your hair, how
That's
to wear
pretty
your hair with
cool.
the hat, how to surf with your hair, how to tie your hair up, how to
They have,
sleep
like,
with.
the hair ties.
yeah?
Yeah, so they have shampoo, conditioner, hair
That's pretty
ties,
legit.
Hair ties for guys.
hair ties for guys.
Hair ties for guys.
Yeah. So in 2019, they had their first. They called it the Great Cut, and it was a call to everyone in their network. And think about as a business how risky this is. They're telling all their customers that, hey, we want you to come here, or if you can't come here, cut your hair and send us your hair, and we're going to donate it to children with hair loss.
That's crazy.
And we want to. Our goal is to break the world record. The world record.
Yeah, hair ties for guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our goal is the guys. So they were also on Shark Tank, and it's a great episode. So go watch it. And they got signed up with Cuban signed them.
Really?
Yeah, Mark Cuban signed them.
That is dope.
So and it's a great episode. It's entertaining. You got to go watch it.
Brushes, head wraps.
Yeah. So these guys are a local company. These guys are
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego, Chula Vista.
Sick.
Lindsay actually started. We met him when he was just graduating Art Institute. He's in the bottom right, and he was just graduating Art Institute, and we brought him on as an intern, and then he went on to start off this like awesome company. But
Sounds like a band, the long hairs.
the long hair, yeah. And so in 2019 they broke the world record for the most hair donated in a single day.
Wow.
Sick.
And it was 300 and something pounds of hair.
Wow.
And then this year they tried to break it again, but they fell a little short.
Oof.
But it was still an amazing event. They had way more people. And they contributed that they couldn't break it because the first time they had they partnered with a bunch of salons who gathered a bunch of hair and then submitted it, and that was like a lot of hair.
Hey, but still, a lot of people got blessed with that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really what
Yeah,
matters.
it
You
is.
know.
Yeah, 340
that.
pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Was there any dreadlocks involved in it?
Oh, dude, yeah. Some guys had their hair past their butt.
Yeah. Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thinking about that.
Yeah.
So
Congrats on that. That's super dope.
No, dude, that's all them. But hey, we played
But
a
just
tiny little part.
Being involved in that is, is
yeah.
dope.
I mean, we're honored to be involved. They're homies, and
And we were talking earlier how we're like, dude, you know, the give back of stuff is always important to us, you know. And so like we got a buddy that he's got like a car wrap window tint business. And so, you know, we always ask like, dude, so how can we collaborate to go connect with the community and help the community in any way? So with him, we're like, dude, what can we do? So we're thinking about like, we're going to have an event in the juvenile hall. He's going to come, he's going to bring a card, and he's going to, he's going to teach the kids how to, you know, tint the windows and how to wrap the car.
practical.
So yeah, so that way when they get out and they want to find a job, something easy or whatever. I mean, maybe it's not easy, but you know, something that
something they can train,
yeah,
they can learn. Yeah.
It's the labor aspect of,
Yeah.
you know, the trade. So I would love to collaborate with you and do some stuff on the inside.
That'd
man.
be nice.
Would love it.
So I know Memo's been going in. He's been taking his laptop. He's been teaching kids how to do graphic design. Maybe that's something we can do with
Dude,
you.
we can co.
Yeah, I gotta bring you in.
Let's co-teach it, dude. That would be great.
That's what I'm talking about.
You live right here.
Yeah.
close by.
Oh yeah, it's right there. It's
right here.
Up your. Really, literally like 10
Yeah, right here.
7 minutes from your pad.
All right,
Let's go.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to ask you too. I know you were saying when you kind of came back, brought the business back, your wife came on board. How is it working with your wife, living with your wife? Everything is like all boom, all at once.
Yeah.
Is that a difficult thing, or is it like, hey, babe, I just need a break. I'm gonna go.
Sometimes, yeah, it's like that. Like she needs a break from me, I need a break. So one of us might work from home, or it helps now that our commute's close. So if we would need to, we can drive separate. Sometimes I want to stay late and work, and sometimes it's quiet and I'm not distracted.
You ride there together and come back together.
For a while we were, because like when we first moved down here, our shop was still in Miramar, so it was 40 minutes each way, and we're like, yo, that's a lot of gas. Like we got to go together. So you know, it's
That's a blessing though to be working with your best friend.
It is in so many ways, and as long as you have the perspective of like how lucky you are,
Yeah.
I think anyone could have everything going for them and be in the pits because of perspective, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of the time it's just a reminder. And in a single day it could go, you know, my mentality can go down and up in a day. So it's, you know, I think it's comes down, and I'm still learning, is just having tools to kind of reset yourself. And maybe I need to go for a walk. I need to go outside. I need to go get a, you know, cafe de olla or something, you know, whatever.
like it.
Like I need, you know, I need something.
Yeah, I love that.
Disconnect a little
You were gonna find Cafe de la Olla in Miramar, so now that you're in the south,
No, I know. Yeah.
you're up the street.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking about the little Mexican food spots down here.
Yeah,
The La Central.
La Central de Birria.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
and they got some bomb cafe. They have cafe de olla, but they have this other one. It's
Oh,
like
this cafe
special,
right here, bro. Just ask for the coffee, like preparado.
no, it's de la casa or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. It's their like, I don't know what's in
Okay.
it. It almost feels like it's
De la Casa?
yeah, it's like their own special blend. So it almost feels like it's cafe de olla with like maybe chocolate abuelita or
Okay,
something.
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
some dessert-ish.
don't know
bro.
what it is.
like mocha,
yeah.
mocha style.
It's like diabetes in a cup, bro. Like the Mexican version right
so
there.
good,
It's
though,
so
man.
crazy, bomb.
that's like a dessert, like
Yes.
every guilty pleasure.
Oh yeah.
but they got this breakfast birria taco with an egg on it.
El Comandante.
Dude,
Shout out to
way.
Kuya. Kuya. Oh, we have a boy named Kuya. And he's
yeah,
like a crazy foodie.
everybody knows Kuya.
Hey, yeah, Kuya. He took me there, and same thing. He's just putting me up on game on all this. He points
No
people to
way.
the right food, you know.
When
You know,
I
some
when I
people,
first met Kuya, he introduced himself. I'm kind of a foodie.
dude.
I'm kind of a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have friends who tell you like, "Hey, come here," and you go to this place, and he hyped it up, and then it doesn't.
like,
you're like, And so from that point on, they tell you in their place, you're like, "All right, buddy,
Right, sure,
you know?
yeah.
But Kuya's the guy that hits every time. I'm like, "What'd you find this week?" You know? Yeah, he's the man.
Word.
So we went there. We had breakfast for my buddy Andy's birthday, and
What's it called? I need to write.
La Central.
La Central.
It's down here on Hollister.
Yeah, Hollister.
Dude, so we go. We meet the owner,
Oh,
and just prepare.
loving.
Yeah,
And everybody that works there, even
great.
the other homeboy.
the customer service is next
great.
level.
Crazy.
I love it.
But you know, he comes in. Oh, come here, man. He
I
gives you-
put that high.
oh man,
I put
Yeah.
that high because there's some taco shops I've been to where they're not happy and they're kind of
yeah.
rude. And I'm like, I mean, I'll go if it's convenient, but then as soon as I can find somewhere that I feel get a better vibe, I'm like, I'm there.
This ain't a taco shop. It's a birria restaurant.
Okay. Got
So it's I think it's a little different because they close at
Sure.
what, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, they just
Don't
did it.
Matito is like that.
Yeah, they close.
They close early.
midday.
Yeah.
But the owner there, he loves people. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? So
big
it's like,
time.
he'll come up, he'll give you like a hug, but it's not one like a regular hug.
Bring it in.
It's an embrace.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, and you're like,
Yeah.
like not necessarily uncomfortable, but you're just like, oh, this is all right.
Just lean into
It's
it.
like love. Yeah, you just let it happen, bro. Let it
yeah,
happen.
let it happen.
You get a hug. You get bomb
Bomb
food.
food,
right.
bomb coffee, and a
Diabetic
hug.
coffee. Everything's great.
And
Soul
a-
food.
La Central, you gotta go check it
Yeah,
out.
the
This
Central.
episode is brought to you by
La Central.
Check it out.
But earlier you mentioned how you were helping out a youth. What advice do you have for a youngster that's thinking about starting a clothing line? And what steps should he take right now? Maybe his money's tight. He's got to ask mama for some money. What does he do? Does he think of a design? Does he print 12 shirts? Who does he hit up? What are
Great
what would you-
question. Great question. I would say, looking to start specifically a clothing line. I will say, it's a great, like, do it, start it, but keep it simple. Stay within your means. Like, I have photos of the early days where I'm taking photos at the point and shoot on the driveway of Tony's garage. And I'm waiting until the sun sets past so I can get a diffused light off a white piece of paper that's taped on the garage. And I'm laying on the garage, like shooting a hat. And then the end photos, it looks like a studio shot.
So legit.
You know, it looks like a studio shot. And like, so I don't,
Fake it till you make it.
yeah, so, you know, now in our new spot, I have like a photo area, nice lights, and it's like, this is dedicated photo area. I could just come here and shoot if I need to, or someone else can, and it's just set up. But it's not lost on me that like we worked to that and stayed within our means to get to that point. You don't just start out and spend a bunch of money on a lot of rent or things that you can't sustain. So I would say stay within you, assess your resources.
Okay.
What resources do you have? What would you say are your superpowers? What are you really strong at? What are you weaker at? Lean into the stronger ones. Build off that. Some people want to start and they're not a designer, they're not creative or whatever, but some huge brands have started like that. And I don't know necessarily how they did, like how they must have had some money to invest in designers and whatever, or connects. Right, exactly.
Brainwash it.
Right. But my story is going to be different than yours.
Yeah.
So also don't look too much to other people, take some things from what other people are doing. Yeah. Try to read those blueprints, but
be inspired.
Be inspired, but don't compare and then get down on yourself.
Because you started at the pad, right? It was just in your garage, or was
Tony's garage. I didn't even have a garage.
The garage, and then you went to your bedroom.
Yeah. So we started out in the garage, Tony's garage. And then when we were like, oh, should we get a spot downtown above 5 and a Dime? We made friends with 5 and a Dime, who is a streetwear store. They're still around, but they had their location there downtown on 8th and G Street. And Jay's like, yo, dude, there's a spot upstairs. Like, you guys should. And then Tony's like, yo, we should do it. We should. I'm like, I don't know. But we're making enough to pay rent. I think we just need to make the jump, So we did, and it worked out, But it wasn't still. It was like, I think it was like maybe 600 square feet, and it was super cheap. It was like $1 a square foot, basically. So we were paying $600, and it was super old building. Like, it wasn't fancy, And we did that. We were there for years, like maybe 3-4 years. But every step I would say, like, try to just be resourceful. We were there. Actually, okay, so went from there, and then Tony left, and then I had some other partners briefly at a project called Briefcase, and it was just design studio. One of the dudes had chops from ad agency, like White and Kennedy in Portland. That's like Nike's agency. He worked there, so it was like, he had connects to like bigger brands, a lot of different people in the agency game, and did that like maybe 6 months, and we were having some conflict, miscommunication, different things. So I was like, screw it, everything, screw all the overhead, all the thing. I don't need it. I'm going
back to basics.
I'm going back to the basics. So at that point, I just had a home office. And I was working out of a home office for a couple years. And then I finally got a little tiny mini office in Miramar. But yeah, I was doing serious client work out of my home office. No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. You could do great things at home.
Facts.
You don't even know it.
Yeah. You could do great things in the garage. We started bring back the brown in the garage.
Humble beginnings.
Our first hat that we ever did, we were in Tony's garage, and we hadn't made, I was showing this to this young kid today. I was like, we hadn't done anything. But Tony really liked this dude, Jeff Staple, who did the pigeon dunks. Like, he's like a legend in the streetwear game, right? And it was a 24/7 hat. And I was like, yo, Tony, you take out the crossbar on the 24/7, it makes a 27. The Yankees just won their 27th World Series. We got to do something with that. And it kind of had like a Yankee style. So we sampled the hat. We made a presentation, this really nice box. Like it's a red box, bright red box. Mm-hmm. We screen printed our logo on the box, sent it to this guy, Jeff Staple. It had a couple of shirts, and it had this presentation of this hat. And the whole thing was, let's do a collab at the Reed Space, his store. So he had a streetwear brand, and he had a store called the Reed Space. This will be exclusive to the Reed Space, Lower East Side of Manhattan, 100 units.
Wow.
Let's go. Again, we hadn't done anything. We're nobodies, dude. Like no one knows who we are.
And you're swinging.
We don't like it. Screw it. Why not? Let's just swing.
What you gotta lose?
Yeah, what you got to lose?
Yeah.
But you know, we had design shop. It was nice, dude. We're like, this red box is going to show up at this place. There's no way he's not going to open this box. Yeah. Like anyone's going to open this box that's addressed to them. I don't care if it's Donald Trump. Like so this shows up on their desk, they're going to open it. You know, like they're going to open this box. So so we sent it and didn't hear anything. But Tony was the king of following up, and he didn't care. Follow up. Email 1, email 2, email 3. Hey Jeff, just checking if you got the box. Hey Jeff, just checking if you got the box. Hey Jeff, didn't hear nothing. Hey Jeff, just checking again. Do you get the box?
No.
Follow up.
How many times we talking?
She probably followed up like 10 times, something like that, more or less. And
I don't like bugging people, you know.
You know, but what I told this kid,
key.
what I told what I told this kid, I was like, listen. Someone doesn't want you to follow up. If someone's sick of it, they're going to say, no.
Yeah, back off.
Back up.
Yeah.
And if they're a jerk about it, you just learned something. You learned who you don't want to collaborate with, who you don't want to work with.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Except reality.
Yeah. And I was like, but the fact is this. And Tony taught me this because I was more shy. Oh, I don't want to step on toe. I'm more that dude. Mm-hmm. But Tony was just like he's busy. This guy's a busy guy. Like, I'm not taking this personally. I'm just going to keep following up. And I want to do this thing, and I'm just going to keep following up. You just keep following up. He followed up. And I prefaced it with, this hat did so much for us. Because he asked me this. He's like, how do I start meeting people? Like, how do I start making relationships? Mm-hmm. And I was like, follow up, bro. If you want it, follow up. Just follow up. Be persistent. Don't get shy. Don't think you're bugging people. I was like, I'll tell you this, out of all my years where I'm at now, at this point, and it came slow for me, I would say, is that most people are very nice and they want to help. And I found that to be true. Even clients, like they're kind of, if they like your stuff, they're interested. And especially if you're providing some value and you know your stuff, like they want to hear that, you know? And so, and then if you meet people, like you build a connection with people, like you establish a relationship, and now it's just a matter of trading energy. You know, you're just like, do you leave an exchange more inspired or do you leave more tired? And that's a positive and negative right there. So going back to the house, like this hat started so much, and I'll explain. It's a kind of I'll explain, you know, and I was like, so this hat created so many doors, and it for both Tony and myself, it opened so many doors. So the first one was Jeff didn't get back at first, but we got a call from a guy named Adam Moyer from Knockaround, and he was just starting their Knockaround brand here in National City, and he's like, hey guys, I see you guys are local. I like your stuff. Jeff Staple told me to reach out to you guys and said, you're really good at following up.
No way.
Even though he didn't follow up?
That's crazy, bro.
And that's how we met Knockaround. That's how we met Knockaround. Okay. So remember that. We meet Adam from Knockaround through this hat, right? So, and I complimented Tony recently. I'm like, you're the king at planting seeds, bro. Don't forget it. And you're still doing it to this day. You're the king. And I need to revisit what we did together, and I need to remember that and do more better. But
shout out Tony.
Yeah,
shout out Tony.
Go Tony.
So then Tony's like, well, that means Jeff must have liked it because Adam just reached out to us. Like, and the reason Adam knew Jeff is Jeff was an investor in Knockaround. So Tony hit up Jeff. It's like, hey Jeff, you know, Adam reached out, like just wanted to see what's up with the hat. Do you want to do that? Kept following up because Jeff didn't get back. Followed up. Eventually we get a call from his buyer, Doe, and he's like, yeah, let's go. Jeff likes it. Let's do it. We never got a call from Jeff.
That's crazy.
We never got the call from Jeff.
Someone
just told to
he
gave
go.
you
That's
something.
dope.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
Yeah. So
stay persistent.
Exactly. So then, so we do that hat. We put so much time in the hat. We custom screen printed tissue paper. We screen printed the box. We didn't make a dime. We probably lost money, but we thought it was cool. And for us, that also there was a credibility aspect. Like, boom, Hypebeast picked it up. You know,
wow.
First product like we made, first and last time we got on Hypebeast was that.
No way.
Yeah. So we got on Hypebeast, and then, so we met Adam. He became a client. He was on retainer for a couple years. So that all came from this hat, basically. Tony then went on to wear that hat. He snuck into a Magic fashion show in Vegas. Oh, yeah. And then a dude came up to him, was like, yo, I blogged about that hat. And then that dude was the lead headwear designer at Mitchell & Ness.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And that's how we started working with Mitchell & Ness. So he's like, let's get you on board. So we go on Mitchell & Ness, right? Well, fast forward 2017, 2018, 2019, there was an exodus of designers from Mitchell & Ness that went to New Era. Mm-hmm. We're making New Era hats now because of that hat. Because we met that dude.
All
connected. And then Tony, when he left, like working with us, he worked full-time at Knockaround for 3-4 years.
Wow.
So it's
win.
One little thing that you just crazy. Like put out to the world can lead to all the...
you don't know which doors it's going to open.
You never know.
And at what time, you know?
And at what time.
We say it's God's timing every time. And like you said, the answer is, you're always going to get the answer. It might not be the answer you want, though.
Right.
But like you said, a no. Well, I guess that guy ignored, but then he still kind of went through.
Well, yeah. So funny enough, like Tony went to work at Knockaround as marketing director, and now he's having meetings with Jeff and busting Jeff's balls. Like, yo, bro, like, how many times do I need to follow up with you?
This, dude.
You know, like, and then he's like, oh, you know, whatever. It's like,
that's so tight, man.
Having such dope designs, and it's iconic.
Big time.
Stuff. But like Memo experiences recently too, but do you find any kind of like knockoffs or anybody trying to bootleg your
has
stuff?
that happened? Is there WestSide Love or one of these out there?
There's been a couple just straight rips. There's been some where they like change the shape of like, you know, they like make this
thumb
this part, they like make this like blocky or something, and like, I changed it. And I'm like, no, stop.
That's crazy. Huh?
So what do you do? Cease and desist?
You basically say, hey, you got to stop. And they're like, most of the time they're like, okay, yeah. And then one guy was like, I changed it, bro. I changed it 40%, so it's okay. And I'm like, nah, that's a myth. That's not how copyright or trademark works. And two, if you don't, now I'm giving you notice. You need to change this. If you don't, we're gonna sue you for damages too. So not only are you're gonna lose this, because we both know where you got this logo. Yeah. And I was like, but we're then going to sue you for damages because you're not following suit. And he's like, I was like, we have not only a copyright on this, we have copyright and trademark. This is in the Library of Congress. These are registered copyright and trademarks. So that's, you're not going to win this, because I have documents for this thing dating back to 2004, 2000.
You're covered.
Yeah. Like you got to stop. And he was like, prove it. prove that you have a trademark. So here's our filing. Here's our numbers. Okay, I'll stop.
Where's the moral, that part when people copy, it just trips me out, because, I mean, somebody once said, like, it ain't a good idea unless somebody's trying to jack you for it, you know?
Right. Imitation's flattery.
Yeah. And
Picasso said, good artists borrow, great artists steal. So it's, ouch. I think it comes down to part of it's law, right? But
on a human is like, bro, even if you're coming out as a creator, like, you don't want to just snatch somebody's stuff and
taking food off.
Yeah, man. It's you don't know what they've gone through and what their purpose and passion is for this. And here you are, just let me jack the WestSide Love and do that.
There was
especially so different and iconic, bro.
There was a church that was doing Blessed Day, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And they took the whole same
thing.
Yeah.
It's my people, bro. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Speaking of that, I always ask everybody, where are you at with God? I mean, obviously, you wake up, you're blessed, you have your own brand, you do what you love, you work with the wifey, you get to live in the South Bay, you're going to visit a birria spot. We're going to go together.
Okay.
Where are you at with God?
So my background is complicated with it, not in the sense of like God, but religion. So, my mom's from Costa Rica, raised Catholic. It's still, I would say, even her, where she's at is a hybrid of things. So she was raised Catholic, and then when she moved to the U.S., she married my dad, who came from a Methodist background, but he wasn't really practicing. His parents weren't very religious, I don't think. And I think he's never really pushed it on us from his perspective. Really, neither of my parents really pushed it, but also when I was very young, they divorced. And my mom remarried my stepdad, who's Jewish. So throughout growing up, I'm like, well, someone's wrong. Like that's kind of been like, is someone wrong? Someone's based on certain, what people are telling me, someone is actually like by definition wrong. And I don't know how to reconcile that. I don't know how, like, I don't see anyone do anything wrong. So it's, how do I say they're wrong or they're wrong or they're wrong? Like it was hard growing up to like, but I think there was difficulty in that, especially, elementary to middle to high school. Like, what am I? Do I believe in one of these? Am I more interested in one than the other? But growing up, like, it made me question a lot of things and be curious about a lot of things and wonder what else there was, So I'm spiritually a curious person. I would say I'm a spiritual person. Sometimes I think I probably need to check in more than other times, but like I appreciate, going to a mass or a church or a temple and kind of like hearing what it offers, what it gives people, how people connect with it. And also see, there's a lot of conflict in the world. So, and a lot of it sometimes revolves around religion. So, at the end of the day, though, I think we all have more in common than we don't have in common, and I think sometimes that gets lost in the details. So, I'm hip with, like, I love reading Lao Tzu. That's like something that speaks to me a lot because it's like it's Proverbs. It's poetic. It's very short, but there's universal truths in there that I think relate to, a lot of religions, a lot of kind of, as you read more and you see more, and I should read more between different faiths, like scriptures and stuff like that. But the more you see that there's a lot of kind of like truths that are similar in between all these different faiths, and that's something that's, it's beyond me, So in some ways, I would say, I'm agnostic in the sense by definition, like, but I'm constantly, I growing up, I would go to youth groups, I'd go to churches, and I'd go to a temple. Maybe I'd try, and
You're like the hometown buffet of spirituality.
yeah. I would check it out, and like I had one of my best friends. Her dad was a pastor, so every Tuesday or Wednesday they would have like a Bible talk, and I would go to her house and kick it and like see what
and listen up. Huh?
Yeah, listen up.
See, yeah,
we got one on Wednesdays if you ever want to roll.
Oh yeah,
word.
Okay. Highly invited. And I was kind of where you're at too, because agnostic, you said is you might believe in a deity, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. It's that I don't know.
I when I hear that, I hear like, so you're saying there's a chance. Right. Yeah, and I'll share with you just my. The Bible says, in case you're looking for which deity it is, right? Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Seek the truth, right? That's kind of, and no one comes to the Father except through me, And you just landed on our prayer list for sure.
For sure.
Because you're so blessed, bro. And when I get to heaven, I want to go through the pearly gates, and I'm gonna be like, "Where's my boy Jordan now?" And they're like, "Oh, of course he's on the west side of heaven. Of course." You know what I mean? I want to see you up there, boy.
With the halo.
Yeah,
Yes,
with the halo. Yeah. I'll see what hat you're wearing. And I'll be like,
Thank you.
Yeah, nah,
But
man.
anytime, man. Like, Wednesdays,
bro.
we get together. My wife comes.
We break bread.
My boy's wife comes. So
Love it.
it started. We had a men's retreat last year. And it was just a bunch of men that got together, like a bunch of the homies, and just anybody who felt maybe broken or whatever. And it was like, dude, I just need to hit the reset button.
Yeah.
So we all just got together to kind of just hit that reset button, in our spiritual walks with the Lord. And from that, we started doing a Bible study on Wednesdays. And my boy's been doing it out of his pad.
Shout out to Mike.
South Bay Mike. And so we've been doing this, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. And so it's all the men that went to the thing, but they started bringing wives. But now it's like they're inviting some of the homies. And so it's kind of grown into a little, it's a cool little thing
nice.
doing.
Yeah.
Where you guys do that?
In National City.
Now that you're in the South, dude, there we go.
There you go. Boom.
Heck
But,
yeah.
But thanks,
Yeah, no.
thank you for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
Wait. We didn't ask him you got a couple names of somebody you would recommend that we get connected with?
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about Tony. I think Tony has a lot to share. He's making moves right now. He's been working on his own projects and he's doing a lot of stuff with San Diego Football Club and we're
gonna email him persistently. Just boom, boom, boom.
Keep following up. Yeah, exactly.
Reach out.
Every hour on the hour.
I think I just reached out to him on LinkedIn too.
Did you?
Get connected with.
Who else you got?
Let's see. I mean, we spoke about Milo. He's got I think the usual suspects, of course.
What would be a curveball?
A curveball.
Shoot us a curveball.
Curveball.
Yeah, because we got Milo, George. These are the all stars.
Juan from Squeegee Prince.
Oh, okay.
I was just talking to him today. I'm like,
the cleanest Prince
he's a
I've ever seen.
He's an artist. He's a craftsman.
Dude, his prints are like on point.
Yeah, he treats it like a craft. There's a lot of. It's hard to find a good screen printer. He's an artist with it, and I mean, not just that. Like he puts love and he's he's a musician. He's super talented musician, super talented skater.
Creative.
He's a creative dude. And
connect us.
Yeah. And I was telling him, like, bro, you got good stories, man. Like, I think, like you as a screen printer and what Squeegee does, you can weave in like your background, what you do, how you play music, these things, and how that translates to our attention to detail and screen printing and providing services to people, like
it's an art in itself.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Instagram. I mean, like I usually handle a lot of our Instagram unless it's like customer service based. Then we have someone that's Bev. She's a rock star. She's going to probably help you with finding that hat or tracking down your order or whatever. But straight up chat. Like you can hit us up on Instagram. Send us a DM.
WestSide.
WestSide.us. And of course, you can hit us up on our website. On our website, we have a little chat bubble there too. You can ask a question. It might be me. It might be Bev. It might be Tori, my wife. But we're a small team, so you're going to get someone that's like tied to how this whole thing works. You're not going to get forwarded to some rando that can't do anything for you.
Some dude out in India.
Exactly.
WestSide Love, I can help you.
You're right.
Oh, watch your voice. What was that? Wow. Hey, chill. Apologize.
Well, cool, man. Jordan, appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for saying yes. I just, just reached out randomly. I was like, man, we need some art. And we come through and just all of it, man. Just,
dude,
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And
thanks for the opportunity, man.
Since the day I met you, I was inspired and appreciate you inspiring the next generation to build up the community.
Likewise.
Yeah, you're an amazing artist. Obviously, you speak of art like from the core. You know it on another level. And now I'm very inspired. You're one of my inspirations, and you're obviously one of my favorite brands. And you're blessed, bro, to be with the wifey, and
Amen.
We'll definitely be keeping your business in prayer, and we'll see
Thank
where
you.
God has the final say on your limits, and I pray that when that time comes, you open those doors and you're able to bless many, man. We
Next time
appreciate
you come with the wife too,
Oh yeah, yeah.
so we can hear her side of it.
Yeah.
She'll tell you how grouchy I get.
There it is.
Nah, hey, thanks again, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
I'm connected.